Good morning, guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's dive into the world of respiratory system. In this video, we would learn the meaning of respiration, types of respiration, phases of respiration. Firstly, let's define respiration. I've heard people define respiration as the gaseous exchange between the environment and the respiratory system, involving the breathing in of oxygen and the breathing out of carbon dioxide. But that definition is wrong. Respiration is a process in living cells involving enzyme-catalyzed chemical reaction. I repeat, respiration is a process in living cells involving enzyme-catalyzed chemical reaction, which break down food substance to yield water, carbon dioxide, and energy. I repeat, respiration is a process in living cells involving enzyme-catalyzed chemical reaction, which break down food substance to yield water, carbon dioxide, and energy. Okay, let's move forward to the types of respiration. Please guys pay attention to this part, please. For those of you preparing for jam and wake, please pay attention. There are two types of respiration, the aerobic respiration and the anaerobic respiration. I repeat, there are two types of respiration, the aerobic respiration and the anaerobic respiration. Okay, let's define aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is the type of respiration which requires oxygen to break down glucose, substrates, into water, carbon dioxide, and energy. I repeat, aerobic respiration is the type of respiration which requires oxygen to break down glucose into water, carbon dioxide, and energy. Please note two facts. 1. Oxygen is required to break down glucose. I repeat, oxygen is required to break down glucose. 2. Glucose is broken down to yield carbon dioxide, energy, and water. I repeat, glucose is broken down to yield carbon dioxide, energy, and water. Okay, so let's explain the other term, anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration is the type of respiration which does not require the presence of oxygen to provide energy. I repeat, an anaerobic respiration is a type of respiration which does not require oxygen to provide energy. Also, during an anaerobic respiration, glucose is broken down to yield carbon dioxide, alcohol, and energy. So in an aerobic respiration, oxygen is required to break down glucose into water, carbon dioxide, and energy. Whereas in an anaerobic respiration, oxygen is not required to break down glucose into carbon dioxide, energy, and alcohol. Let's move over to the phase or stages of respiration. Okay, so respiration takes place in two stages or phases. 1. The external phase. 2. The internal phase. Okay, so the external phase is what we know as breathing. It is defined as the exchange of gases between the environment and the respiratory organs of living organisms. So, the external respiration involves gaseous exchange between the environment and the body. The internal phase, also called tissue respiration, is the main phase of respiration, and it can be defined as the oxidation of organic food substance within the cell, leading to the release of energy, carbon dioxide, and water. For clarity, tissue respiration takes place when the oxygen taken in is used up by the individual body cells for the breaking down of food substance. Now, let's go to the types of respiratory system. Respiratory system includes all the structures and organs associated with the process of taking oxygen into the body and giving out carbon dioxide and water vapor into the environment. Organisms adopt different types of respiratory systems depending on their complexity, size, and the habitat which they found. Let's look at the different organisms and their respiratory systems. Firstly, let's discuss on the respiratory system in unicellular organisms. For clarity, recall that unicellular organisms are organisms which possess only one cell and are capable of living freely on their own. I repeat, unicellular organisms are organisms which possess only one cell and are capable of living freely on their own. Note that unicellular organisms has no special respiratory organs. Oxygen that dissolves in water diffuse into the body, while carbon dioxide goes out of the body through the entire body surface. Recall that diffusion is a process by which molecules or ion of a substance move from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration. So the concentration of oxygen in water is higher than that inside the body. Hence it will diffuse into all part of the body through the body surface. So the body surface is the respiratory organ for unicellular organisms. Okay, so let's wrap up for now. In the next video, we would discuss on the mechanism of respiratory system in mammals, man, fishes, and plants, as well as the importance of respiration. So please click the subscription button to get notified when I upload other videos. And remember to like and share. Leave your questions, thought, and feedback at the comment section. See you in the next video.